second place. Just the mere 19 points behind Manchester City. Now then, before their defeat to Brighton last Friday, Jose Mourinho made some waves by saying, maybe you now understand why some players play more than others. The ones during the season who are critical of my choices. Why always Lukaku? Why always Lukaku? Why him? You have the answer now. Probably we are not as good individually as people we think we are. Again, that was after the Brighton defeat on Friday. Yesterday, before the West Ham game, Mourinho again, some of the players I'm totally convinced they're going to make it. I have some players where I'd like to have better than what I have. You have to try and succeed in getting every player to have the same mentality as I have.
Oh.
When you lose against all the teams that were promoted, it doesn't smell right to me. Not smelling right to Mr. Mourinho.
So it's not his fault.
He didn't have any criticism.
I think what we can take from that is, it's not my fault, lads. They don't have the mentality I have. Some of them are pretty good, but some of them are just not. So, you know, don't be coming to my door to...
And by the way, he didn't have any criticism of any of the players out there today, post-game.
Yeah.
None at all. But Rashford and Martial not being in the starting lineup today.
To your point, don't come over here and look for any criticism over here. This is about the players. This is about their lack of mentality, their lack of toughness. Some of them that get opportunities, and when they get opportunities, they don't play well. And whether he has a point or not, I don't know, because you get lost in what he's saying. And all times he is creating this environment in which you're not encouraging your players to really meet that potential that you think they're capable of. If every time that something goes against Manchester United and Jose Mourinho comes out and says, well, that guy didn't do his job, this guy didn't do his job, he's not reaching his potential. Well, it's also your job to create an environment where these players can maximize and get to the level that they need to get to.
You may be being polite, and I don't often throw that accusation at you when you say he was throwing players under the bus, wasn't he? I mean, really, throwing players under the bus.
It's a Captain Deflecto thing that we've talked about Jose Mourinho for many years now. It's easier to go there. It would be so refreshing. If one of these press conferences he comes out and says, you know what, I didn't do my job well enough today.
Yeah.
That never happens. It's always over there. It's always over there. It's always that guy and that guy, not me.
And he never used to do this, did he, Shagger?
And that's the thing.
Early in his career?
As much as Jose Mourinho has always kind of attracted the limelight and taken it away from his players, certainly it hasn't been he hasn't thrown players under the bus as he has done since he arrived at Old Trafford. Whenever he was attracting attention, it was because he's trying to take attention off his players. Now he seems to be putting it on the players that he doesn't like or he doesn't want at the football club. All that being said, I think this is now Jose Mourinho trying to send a message to Ed Woodward and the rest of the Manchester United board that I need to spend and spend heavy. Didn't get all his targets last summer, disappointed by that, and now has been left trailing in Manchester City's wake, and he's trying to make up that ground. Will he? Can he? I'm not so sure.
Call me old-fashioned, will you?
You're old-fashioned.
How about you go to the board and tell them that some of the players I have aren't good enough. In the meantime, I will work with them and try and do the best I can with them for the good of them and the club. But please, you need to get me some better players. How about you go that way?
Are they not good enough? Martial, Rashford?
Well,
are they really not good enough?
Let me give you... If we put Raheem Sterling next to Marcus Rashford, because they can be comparable players, right? You have seen a development in Raheem Sterling that wasn't quite there before the arrival of Pep Guardiola. Have we seen the same sort of development from Marcus Rashford? I think the answer is no. And so, at some point, yes, it's on the player. Yes, those are the guys that are out on the field and they're making the decision with the ball at their feet. But you have to have a responsibility as a manager to make sure that that guy develops as well. Because that guy developing makes you a better team and closes the gap between you and Manchester City. But that gap seems to be getting longer, bigger, than actually smaller. And I just don't see how a manager who got, in the middle of the season, Alexis Sanchez, who they invested a lot of money for, how he's complaining about not getting the players that he wants.
Look, two seasons ago, if you put Rashford next to Sterling, this is before the arrival of Guardiola, before the arrival of Mourinho, you'd have had Rashford all day long. Then both those managers come into their respective clubs. As much as you see the improvement in Raheem Sterling in the first year under Guardiola, I still think you take Rashford with his first year under Jose Mourinho. And then now, despite the ups and downs, despite some of the misses from Raheem Sterling, you still see his improvement and how he impacts a Manchester City side which are running away with this title. And yet still you look at Marcus Rashford, I looked at his stats today. He played 90 minutes 6 times this season under Jose Mourinho.
And as it has been the case for many a games that Manchester United have played against inferior opposition, unwatchable. Unwatchable. I mean, when we talk about seeing highlights from Manchester United, where do you pull them from? It's not like they're creating chances left and right. And people get all upset when we talk about Manchester United. The truth of the matter is, this is not an entertaining team to watch. And part of that is that you haven't had the development of the players that you need. And that development is the responsibility of Jose Mourinho. It's on the player, but it's on Mourinho to create that environment. I think that environment is all over the place.
As far as form right now is concerned, yes, Giroud has been better than Morata. But, you know, I don't see that as a huge mistake playing Morata.
What, playing a guy who's not playing well?
Listen, are we talking about Giroud here or what? The guy's average at best.
It doesn't matter.
So if you're going to leave him out, that's fine. I have no problem with that.
Who's not playing
Morata,
well?
who hasn't been playing well, give him a chance. Give him a game.
There's two games to
You're going to
go.
have plenty of opportunities.
Oh, for
you're going to
God's
have plenty of the ball playing Morata over Giroud. This is not like we're leaving Messi out, by the way.
No.
No.
Your brain's getting baffled these
shut
days.
up.
Honestly, what
Give yourself
what's
a
gonna-
shake. You want me to sit and argue with you because Giroud didn't play and
Hold on,
Morata did?
your initial statement contradicts yourself. As poor as Morata's been, I can understand and I can see why he's playing.
Give him a game.
What? Well, Cesc Fabregas wanted to weigh in on what Craig and Stevie were talking about, saying, I think the biggest regret maybe of the season has been up front, not taking our chances. Giroud's been helping us a lot in certain things that maybe we were lacking. The most important is he's scoring goals, scoring big goals, which is what we ask, especially me as a midfielder. This is what we want. The strikers put their chances away and make the team win points. That was Cesc Fabregas talking to Sky Sports. Didn't actually mention Mr. Alvaro Morata by name, but he might as well have done, mightn't he?
Bit of scaremongering, huh?
Yeah. What do you make of that, Fabregas?
I
Basically saying what you and Craig were arguing about yesterday.
I find it strange that a player is saying that about a teammate, and as much as he may try to disguise exactly who he's referring to here, it's kind of obvious for everyone to see. The truth of the matter is, what?
I don't find it obvious.
You don't think it's obvious he's talking about Morata?
Oh, I think he's praising Giroud.
And then
I think it's just too easy to turn around and not listen to what he's actually saying and try and think he's talking about something else. It's the old, well, I'll say that, but then everybody will know I'm talking about that. That's what I think.
Well,
For me, he's actually praising Giroud.
Well, he did talk about regrets this season, not taking our chances.
Right?
And finally we have a striker who's
Oh,
scoring goals.
so it's down to one man.
Well, he's pretty much been the man, hasn't he, for at least half of Chelsea's year?
What I can say about what Cesc Fabregas just mentioned there, he did say, well, our problem is that we haven't scored our goals up top, and certainly me as a midfielder. So it's unnecessary for him to come out and talk in this way. See, because if I'm a striker, and yes, maybe we struggle scoring goals, I can then turn back around and say, well, you're not defending. I can go to Cesar and say, well, you're not covering the ground. You're not helping us out. You're not recovering the ball, and we're not getting service from you. So once you start this back and forth, you get nowhere. The truth of the matter is that Chelsea has been disappointing. Yes, Morata has been disappointing, but as a whole, Chelsea, including Conte, including Fabregas, they all have been disappointing, and they all have played a part in this.
Nobody from Chelsea has improved their goal tally from last season outside of Marcus Alonso. I think once January hit, Chelsea were in second, and then you saw something going on with Conte, something behind the scenes, and the team just seemed to implode. I put it down to something going on behind the scenes, personally.
Wayne Rooney could be on the move. Reports linking him to DC United. His last 4 years in the Premier League, 10 goals with Everton this year. All of those before Christmas, remember. 5, 8 and 12 his last 3 years with Manchester United. Wayne's world has always revolved around the two cities of Liverpool and Manchester. Something very different potentially awaiting him in DC United. Steve, you coached in the same division and against DC United for many, many years. What's Wayne Rooney getting himself into if he starts wearing a DC United shirt?
Well, I think it needs to be explained to him what he's getting into. Right now, as far as he's concerned, I'm sure it's just about a contract. It's about the money. I'm sure he doesn't know anything about DC either. So he has to be aware of the situation at DC. They are rock bottom. And he has to be made aware of what his role is. You know, clearly you want him on the field, scoring goals, being a general, being a leader, but he has to take some sort of responsibility off the field as well. Is he capable of that? I'm not so sure he's capable of the stuff off the field, but on the field, this guy will score goals in MLS.
It's an interesting move, Shaka, isn't it? Because it's not one of the glitz and glamour destinations in MLS. You think of the LA teams, the two New York teams. This is DC United.
Without question, it's not one of the big media markets. And for me, this move doesn't make an awful lot of sense. And as good a player Wayne Rooney has been, no one man has changed the fortunes of an entire team. DC, at best, can be described as a work in progress. It's going to take a few years. And I'm not sure that Wayne Rooney's got a few years left in him.
What are some of the challenges he's going to face, Ali, as someone who plied his trade in this league?
Well, first of all, he doesn't have a good team in place. And so you're saying, okay, well, this is one major piece. Well, there's a lot of major pieces missing. There's a reason as to why DC United has been at the bottom of the Eastern Conference for years now. It's not just the last few seasons. It has happened consistently. And they're transitioning into a new stadium, which is why I think DC United wants to make a big signing. They want to tie that together. New stadium, big signing, big name. Here we go. We're making a commitment moving forward. The problem with that is that you're assuming that Wayne Rooney is going to give you the same sort of attention that, say, Zlatan gave to LAFC. And that's not the case because it's not the same personality. Zlatan loves being in front of the camera, whereas Wayne Rooney could do without the camera. To be honest, I think it matches his personality, the fact that he's going to D.C. rather than New York and L.A., because in D.C. he can walk around the streets, and some people may know him, but not everybody's going to know who he is. He's going to walk around without the pressures and the attention that he would have had in the Premier League and that he has had as a professional. And at this point, you look at Wayne Rooney in his career, he can be productive if he stays in the final third of the field. If he goes and gets the ball from center backs and trying to be the guy that plays the balls out wide, that's not the guy that's going to be useful to DC United.
Don't you think that surely DC are not stupid enough to think that they just go and sign one player? I mean, surely they cannot think that Wayne Rooney is going to transform them into bottom of the table to top of the table. I mean, they can't. Come on.
Well, let's hope not. I hope not.
So they're obviously going to put more money in, bring in more players. You know, you don't go and spend the amount of money on one player and just stop. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense from any angle.
But talking of that one player, Wayne Rooney, knowing the league as you do, Steve, what's he going to love about it, and what's he going to hate about it? Because there's so many differences, aren't there? I mean, him in August.
He's going to hate the travelling, and he's going to have to adjust to the players he's playing with. You know, this is a guy that's played in the Premier League for what, 15 years, something like that.
Yep.
He's going to have to adjust to a player who doesn't quite have the same technique as what he's used to, and doesn't actually think along the same lines as far as the game's concerned, what's going on between the ears. Once he gets over that, if indeed he does come in, then he'll be fine.
He better get used to the heat, though.
What's he
I'll tell
gonna
you that
like?
much.
Oh, DC, yeah.
Yeah.
What's he going to love, though? I mean, there's a reason he's coming. It's not just a paycheck.
He's going to absolutely love walking around and nobody gives a who he is or what he does. That's exactly what he's going to love.
What about on the pitch? What will he like?
Do you know what? There's one thing we're forgetting, though. You know, we're always talking about when a player like Rooney comes to MLS, it's about the lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You know, it's about the money. You know, how can he transform MLS? If Wayne Rooney comes to MLS, there's only one reason he's coming to MLS. It's because he wants to play. Mm-hmm. Wayne Rooney wants to play. Mm. He's not coming here for any other reason, in my opinion.
He's only 32.
And it may just take him back to the reasons as to why he played the game to begin with. It's like, look, let me enjoy myself. Let me play in an environment in which the pressure is not quite what it has been in the past, and I'm just gonna, whatever I got left, however many years I can play, let me enjoy that. And let me make sure that I maximize whatever I have left, and perhaps I can be an example to guys around me as well. If he takes that approach and is productive on the field, then yes, this could be a great sign for DC United.
Welcome into this week's Weekend Predictor. I've got Stevie Nicol alongside me to run the rule over this weekend's games, make a few predictions, see who gets more right than wrong. Stevie, we got Burnley-Bournemouth.
This is going to be tough this week because there are so many games that have nothing riding on them, and so you're really thinking which teams, regardless, are going to turn up. I'd have to think Burnley at home, last game of the season. I think they'll turn up, and they'll be too much for Bournemouth.
I agree with you there. Burnley at home. I'm going to go with the home team over Bournemouth. You got Huddersfield, Arsenal. Arsenal still without an away point in 2018. Huddersfield have survived another season. Would they still be partying? Was that enough for them?
You know what? Huddersfield are ultra professional. That's what's gotten them. And that's why they're staying in the Premier League. Arsenal, as you said, I mean, just incredibly bad away from home. I'm not sure I see anybody winning this game. I think this is going to be a dull, drab draw.
I put this on. I think Arsenal get the 3 points, break their hoodoo. Not going to matter to Huddersfield or their fans. You've got the Sam Allardyce Bowl. Big Sam back at West Ham. How do you see that one going?
I'm going to go West Ham. Moisey is doing all he can to win, to get this job for the next couple of seasons. And I think a win over his old team, Everton, will do that. I think I'm going to go West Ham.
I'm going to see a draw for that one. I'm going to sit on the fence. You got Southampton, still not mathematically safe. Hosting Manchester City, still in the hunt for 100 points.
Southampton will absolutely be doing nothing other than sitting tight and making sure they don't lose goals. I still think City wins the game, but not by many. So I'm going to go with Man City.
I agree with you 100% there. 3 points is City. They get the 100 points. Southampton will stay up. Liverpool-Brighton. Liverpool needs something to stay in the top 4.
Are you really asking me what I think?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to answer your question.
All right, okay. I should have known better, and I'm going to agree with you.
Really, come on.
Spurs at home to Leicester City.
I'm going to have to go with Spurs. They are in the top 4, but they only know how to play one way under Pochettino. They've got to win this game against Leicester. They're on holiday. I
agree with you yet again. Leicester have been poor of late. Manchester United at home to Watford. Let me get this right. Come on, it'll get there. What do you do, Stevie? There you go. Man United at home to Watford. Man, you have one eye on the FA Cup final.
Yeah, I'm going to say a draw here. This kind of smacks of Brighton. It's got to be a draw. I don't see either team winning. Watford, not that great away from home, and Man United, just not that great at the moment.
I disagree with you. Regardless of who Jose Mourinho puts out, I think they get the 3 points in the final home game of the season. Crystal Palace against West Brom.
As well as Darren Moore's done, they're down. That'll be a huge letdown for them. I don't see them turning up at Crystal Palace at all. Crystal Palace at home, that big noisy group of fans behind that goal will get them going.
I think Albion keep the decent run going. I'll put that down as a draw. Newcastle against Chelsea.
I can see a Chelsea win, only because I just don't figure how Newcastle score goals. For me, going forward, they're extremely average at best. So I'm going to say Chelsea wins this.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Newcastle at home get the 3 points. Chelsea, I think fourth place is just out of their reach, and that tells on them on the day. Swansea need to win and hope for miracles elsewhere. I hope to already relegated Stoke.
You know, I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 weeks, where's the Stoke goals going to come from? For Swansea, they have to open up and just go all out blazing attack. And because of that, I think they're going to leave holes. And I think this could be the game that Stoke eventually win. Too late, but I think Stoke's going to win it.
Again, I agree with you. After playing under all that pressure all season long, they're now down. They can let the shackles off, play with some freedom, knowing that they'll be in the Championship next season, albeit I think Stoke get the win. That sends Swansea down to the Championship alongside them.
Now then, it being Thursday, it means only one thing to finish the show with. Shaka Hislop's Power Ranking. Shaka, you know, so often you've mailed it in. We want to make you work for it now with our new technology available.
What a piece of work this is.
I just want to
You can
see...
interpret that however you like.
I want to see Mr. Hislop on the move to the touchscreen.
There's a bit of a theme this week.
A theme.
Oh, yeah?
I've shown a lot of love to league champions and those who've won or about to win.
So not
the
European
respective
competition this week.
Still some love, but not as much. Atletico Madrid,
Okay.
Europa League finalists.
Wait a second.
That's
You
Don't
European
just
seem to
said,
be all that interested in finishing second.
you just said that you're showing love to league, not European Cup competition.
They're second.
And your first argument was
They're second.
Europa League finalists.
They're second.
Okay, great.
Porto,
Great. We're off to a good
champions of Portugal.
Yeah.
Complain?
start.
League.
That's all right.
No, that's solid.
And now, at Alejandro's insistence,
Yes.
Roma.
Yes.
United.
Yes. You got to include them.
Controversial.
Include them. I'm just
They gotta
saying.
be
beaten
included.
Champions League semi-finalists.
We're better off with Roma on the list.
But they drop, but not all that much.
They got to be included.
PSG, heartbreakers, and I'm taking it out on them. I expected so much more. Yes, they've run away with everything in France. You expected that, but I wanted more in European competition, and as a result,
I thought this was
tipping you
about the
down.
league.
I thought this was about the league. Yes.
They broke my heart. There's no coming back from that. Seven.
Hey.
Hey, let's be honest. Who really broke your heart? It wasn't PSG.
Yes. Liverpool. They are going to finish top four, Steve Nicholas assured me.
Guaranteed.
I did, actually.
He did say
I
Guaranteed.
did.
Champions League finalists in at 6. And now, come on down.
Just to throw that
Oh boy.
European.
Oh boy. Oh boy. See, you know.
back here.
Hey,
There
you
you
know
go.
that PSG is
You
just
try to
higher.
make PSG move higher.
Just won the Coupe de France.
They beat Les Herbiers. That's worth another.
Real Madrid
Oh no, here we go.
don't seem to want to finish second either.
They just lost.
So
That's
they're
what I'm saying.
So they're doing well in the league.
They don't seem to want to finish second. But they're Champions League finalists, 5th.
They just
No
they
argument
just
there.
lost, and they're third. Atletico
Italian
Madrid is higher than them.
champions.
Oh boy.
In at 4.
Your theme is not working.
And could be Italian champions.
No.
Manchester City. In at 3rd.
Okay.
Why?
Right.
Why?
Yes.
Because Barcelona are second. And Bayern Munich
No. See.
are first.
If Juve done the double, and Manchester City just won the league, but Man City ends up above Juve.
Yes.
How's that work? How's that work?
And if it is about the
Because they're
league,
4th and they're 3rd.
hey, if it is about the league, Barcelona is unbeaten in
Right.
Spain.
Right?
And if it is indeed about the league, shouldn't they be higher? By being unbeaten
That's Spain.
for the first
Bayern
time.
on top in Germany.
That is Spain.
Bayern on top
That
in
is definitely
Germany.
Spain.
Good point.
And they were Champions
Fair
League
point.
Hey.
semi-finalists.
And Bayern, let's face it, just
Why is that so hard to understand?
That Barcelona is in
Manchester City
Spain.
is England, Barcelona is Spain, Bayern Munich is a different country
you
altogether.
didn't know you were getting a geography lesson on today's show, did you? And Bayern just beat already relegated Cologne. I mean, if that doesn't get you top,
Well, if that doesn't
get
get
you
you
top of
well, that's what I'm
Shaka's-
saying.
Whose idea was a theme, by the way?
Because it didn't work.
Because it didn't work.
It was mine.
It apparently has to be a very speedy edition of ESPN FC Extra Time tonight
Why is
because
that?
this man needs a haircut.
No, he can't.
I'll sort him
You
out.
already cancelled it, I told
You
you.
did cancel it?
I'll sort him out if you.
That was my excuse.
If
for
it has to
this
be
week.
done tonight, Stevie.
I don't think you need one anyway, quite
I
frankly.
don't know, have you got a big enough bowl in your house?
Not for that head.
No, fair enough. Pot, maybe a pot. A frying pan.
Oh, I'll just draw a line and cut around.
Aye,
Aye.
fair enough.
I thought you had big feet. Wasn't that
What?
what you had?
Hey? I'm not going to get my feet cut, no.
I have no idea how we got here. None. No idea where this is
about
going.
hair.
I've heard tales
What
of
do you mean
Mr.
then?
Nichols' feet. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
What
Plates
size is
of
that?
meat.
What size is that?
Plates of meat, they're not feet.
Dozen?
Yeah. There you
Hey,
go.
don't get injured. Don't hurt yourself.
Well,
Don't hurt yourself.
Give me a hand, get that back down.
We have to do extra time with his foot there now.
weigh a ton as well. How many games?
Not just his feet that way.
Ms. Gann wants to know how many games would Mark Noble be out after that face burster of Pogba? That's what he terms it. That's a pretty good term, actually, Ms. Gann, the face
The
burster.
commentators made an interesting comment. He was booked for it.
He was only
So
booked.
given that the referee's seen it
Yeah.
and booked him for it, I'm not sure if they could go back.
Okay, how interesting really is it? Huh? Come on. The season is almost over. West Ham are insignificant and
Hey,
irrelevant.
Mark Noble is a big player for West Ham United. Captain,
Come on.
fantastic.
If the
You
FA
wrong for Pele.
has any sense, you just say, just let it go.
Yeah, I agree. That's-
Romford Pelly? Who's that?
No, it was
No, it's not.
How's that? Joko?
No.
Ray Parler.
Ray Parler. at
Ray
Arsenal.
Parler?
At Arsenal.
No, it's not.
He's the Romford Pelly.
Was he?
Yeah, he
Yes.
was.
I don't way to make up names now.
I know, yeah.
Romford is a West Ham area.
Yes.
Yeah,
I guess
well,
Ray
You can't give a Ray Parler.
Hey,
I'm lodging a formal protest with the FA
trying to dig his way
right
out.
now.
hey, keep yelling,
Yeah.
but you got your names wrong.
Yes.
Well, Mark Noble is my Romford player.
Ah, there you go.
Also, in the aftermath of that game that sent us all close to sleep, Jose Mourinho, is he the right man to take Manchester United forward in the coming years? He's taken them forward, at least on paper, this year. They're going to finish second. Is he?
Why are you looking at me?
So,
Anyone?
somebody? Would anyone like this
I thought
one?
extra time was a bit kind of like
Yeah.
jovial and
Yeah,
you know,
well, you
I
know.
mean, how serious a question is that?
Well, it's Jandin
Mourinho,
Kapoor.
right?
It's, you know. Is he the right man?
What,
be a yes/no
okay,
answer.
What are they striving for? The idea is that they should be winning the Premier League. Well, unless they get better real quick, Manchester City seem to be running away with a lot of things, and one of them certainly is the Premier League. And the difference, not just in points, but the difference in quality between the two teams is big.
All right, we're moving on from that because I know you didn't like that question. I like this from John. How big of a mistake will Wayne Rooney coming to MLS be? Now, it's not a question of whether it is a mistake in John's mind, it's how big of a mistake.
Now, let's see if you handle that.
Right, see, here's the thing, right? How is it a mistake, regardless of what team that Rooney goes to, how is it a mistake when you bring in a player who's going to make your team better? How can that possibly be a mistake? Now, don't start throwing, well, this amount of money and that amount of money. Listen, everybody's only worth what somebody's willing to pay them. So forget the money. The fact is, Wayne Rooney will make whatever team he joins better. How can that be wrong?
Well, am I missing the point? Is John actually saying it's Wayne Rooney who's making the mistake rather than DC United? Is that what you're saying, John? I'm not sure, but let's say, for argument's sake, he
Little
is.
John in the room?
No, well,
Oh, yeah.
Any Johns? Any Johns?
well, we do have a live crowd, don't we? Well, the way I see it is that if you're Wayne Rooney and you're coming towards the end of your career and you've achieved so much in the game that now you're in a position where you can pick and choose how you want to end your career, you've earned that right, and you've earned that sort of position, that sort of power as a player, then look, maybe he wants to relax. Maybe he doesn't need the craziness of the Premier League. Maybe he doesn't need the attention. He doesn't need everything that goes around being a player in the Premier League or a big team in Europe, whatever the case may be. Maybe here he can just play out however many years he wants to play out and actually enjoy. Go back to old school sort of why I played the game to begin with, and this is to have fun. Maybe he can have fun and then help a team in the process as well.
The thing for me is, I think Wayne Rooney could still do a decent job at another Premier League club. But he's played for two. His boyhood club in Everton and Manchester United, where he spent the bulk of his career and attained all his success, and doesn't want to play for anybody else. So you can understand from that regard moving to MLS. He doesn't even want to play with another European club. So that makes it, so I don't put that down as a mistake for him. But still, I don't see this as being the right player at the right time or at the right club, given DC United's struggles. And as much as Wayne Rooney may be better than everybody else on the roster, I don't think he makes DC United into even playoff contenders.
How red is his face going to be on some of those August muggy days?
That's going to hurt.
Not as red as mine. you know, here's the thing. In England, when you've played in the Premier League or at the highest level, and you go down a division, it's seen upon as this, well, you just want to keep playing and you want to pass on your knowledge. Because as a young player, it's great playing with older players because you learn from them.
Yep.
So when that happens in England, it's great that a player's going down the leagues and he's passing on the knowledge. And everybody gives him a round of applause. For some reason, if a player goes to MLS, oh, they're going to retire. Is he retire? And then people in MLS are trying to avoid people saying it's a retirement league. I mean, why can you not say that Wayne Rooney's coming to MLS because he wants to play, he'll still be a big fish without all the criticism and all the ballyhoo that goes on with the Premier League, and he will help all the players, all the young American players, and any other player, wherever they come from as well.
Yep.
So why not be positive? Why is the first thing, whenever there's a big name coming to the US, the first thing that everybody hits them or hits Evan with is negativity?
I like positive, Steve.
There's nothing negative.
I like positive,
There's
Steve.
nothing negative about Wayne Rooney going to MLS.
That's a lovely orange
really?
shirt.
Hey, positive Steve, can you tell negative Steve not to send Huddersfield down already for next season?
Right, leave Huddersfield alone. Well, you started it. No, I didn't. Yes, he did.
Well, maybe Positive Steve can weigh on the really pressing matter. Positive Steve.
Hey, you like that high
Sagar wants to know who of all the
Sugar?
FC crew likes the new seating arrangement and why.
Obviously not you. You want? Yeah, okay.
No, this is where I deserve to be, right there.
Come on now.
Oh, okay.
The worst thing with these chairs, it's hard not to do that.
Well, have a swap. See how you
I want
feel
to feel
over there.
how it used
Make
to
your
be.
case.
How it used to be
Yeah,
was this
make
on the
your
end of the
case.
wall. End of the wall. Survey the scene.
All right.
I like you there better, Adrian. I do. I like you better there.
Having to turn around and look at you like this is.
Just in general, it's painful.
What an awful thing to have to do.
Go ahead. Don't look at him. Helps everybody.
Anyone else? I guess it doesn't really affect you guys.
It does. Look at the legs. These chairs are a nightmare.
Are they?
It's impossible not to do that.
No expense spared.
And then because it's glass, you can't do it.
I have no problem. I have no problem with doing that. I'm all right.
Because your
You've
legs.
got big long legs.
Oh,
Big giraffe legs.
lower your seat a little bit.
No, because then our director gets
really
upset.
stupid.
There's no chairs that can accommodate those big feet, by the way.
Well, they keep slipping off, look.
Yeah.
And I try to put the thing on, they slip off like that.
He's got to go get a haircut, so we better leave him to it.
I told you, I cancelled
Come
it!
on, Adrian.
Cancel it!
I want him to get a haircut.
All right.
Could be back on if we're done in a minute. All right, next edition of the show, when is it?